The first accused shall not access his office until this criminal case is heard and determined.
Certainly not what Kiambu Governor Ferdinand Waititu Babayao would have wanted.
Hii maneno ikae hivyo hivyo tu. Na ni kwa jina la Yesu Kristo tumeomba.
But clearly, a verdict that was music to the ears of his deputy and bitter rival James Nyoro, whose Thanksgiving and takeover bash began almost immediately. Governor Babayao paid a 15 million shillings cash bill after 4 days in police cells and went straight to Angige Market on official duty, where besides inspecting this ongoing construction work, was also here to show just who is boss.
Mimi nataka niambie watu wote, njia ya kuchukua kiti ya governor ni governor akikufa ama resign ama apatiwe awe impeached. Hizo ndio njia za kuchukua kiti ya governor. Hakuna mkato ingine.
This is not a coup d'etat, as people may want to believe. And therefore we are asking for those people who may have felt probably aggrieved or probably their loyalty was elsewhere to come and join us.
In terms of the bar from accessing office, is a physical bar. They should not be seen near the office. The concept of removal from office is different. It's not a physical process. It is a technical, legal process that has functional consequences.
The Anti-Corruption Court also barred Samburu Governor Moses Kasai Nelelon Kulal from office pending determination of his 84 million shillings county fuel supply scandal. Tough bail terms which were recently affirmed by Justice Mumbi Ngugi at the High Court, where the governor had sought reprieve. But have political players really taken any lessons from Kiambu on their choice of future running mates and the subsequent relationship between governors and their deputies?
We are learning now. I think this is a precedent we have to learn. That irrespective of whether one is a friend, one is capable of working with you, I think you need to put a very responsible person.
What we are seeing happening in Kiambu, what we are seeing happening in some areas is basically an abuse of the Constitution. You know, Bob Marley sang, you know, you give them an inch, they take a mile. You give, you know what I mean? You give them, you know, and if we continue this way, we'll end up being a kangaroo country.
In the run-up to the 2017 polls, Waititu, Nyoro, and real estate developer David Gakuyo were eyeing the Kiambu governorship. However, in a quick fix to clinch the Jubilee Party ticket and lock out then-incumbent Governor William Kabogo, Waititu, Nyoro, and Gakuyo struck a deal fronting Waititu as the gubernatorial candidate, with Nyoro as running mate. A state of affairs replicated in most other counties where pre-nomination pacts among candidates for governor and running mate, woman representative and senator was premised in negotiated democracy between the member constituencies. Back in Kiambu, Gakuyo was reportedly to be considered for appointment in Waititu's cabinet, a seat he never set his eyes on after Waititu's win, while Deputy Governor Nyoro realized almost immediately that he was an unwanted man in Waititu's inner political circle.
Hii maneno ikae hivyo hivyo tu. Na ni kwa jina la Yesu Kristo tumeomba.
Article 179(4) of the 2010 Constitution names a county governor and the deputy as the chief executive and deputy chief executive of the county respectively. Besides Kiambu, Nairobi was also a theatre of the bitter fallout at the top, when Deputy Governor Polycarp Igathe resigned in January 2018 after only 5 months in office, citing irreconcilable differences with Governor Mike Sonko. A year and a half later, Sonko is yet to pick a deputy after the Nairobi County Assembly rejected his choice of deported lawyer Miguna Miguna. In June 2018, Nyeri Deputy Governor Kahiga Mutahi took charge after the death of County boss Wahome Gakuru after only 3 months in office. A predicament well known to Nyeri residents who only 5 months earlier saw their premier governor Nderito Gachagua die in office, vacating the seat to his deputy Samuel Wamadhai. And now in Bomet, where Deputy Governor Hilary Barchok takes over from his departed boss Joyce Laboso. In the absence of a deputy governor, should a vacancy arise in office of governor, Article 182(4) of the Constitution dictates that the Speaker of the County Assembly is to act as governor for the 60 days preceding a by-election, and herein lies the Nairobi conundrum. As Speaker Beatrice Elachi is yet to resume her duties at City Hall, despite being reinstated by the High Court in May.
We don't know what fate will suffer, the next second, the following day. And that's why the position of a standby deputy governor is always very, very important.
You can fall sick, you can decide to go on a business trip. You need somebody to ensure that your organization continues running when you're not there. And that is a fundamental thing in leadership.
To compel the governor of Nairobi to nominate a deputy governor, there's no time frame. And that is why we want this particular bill, this county government amendment bill, to be passed.
Nairobi is just taking a risk for the sake of taking a risk when they shouldn't. And therefore, in the absence of the governor, where in the law, in the absence of the governor acts, it simply means that in Nairobi, there are certain functions that cannot be performed unless the governor is present.
Ni kwa jina la Yesu Kristo tumeomba.
Ares Nyoro enjoys what you could call his last laugh. It will no longer be business as usual for persons eyeing the governor's seat in the choice of running mate, as the political and strategic significance of the post of deputy governor continues to manifest. Murumi Mwangi, KTN.